I don't do drawings. I'm not a drawing person. I don't do drawings. Sometimes people say, would you draw a building? And I'll draw 4 lines and a little roof, for a charity stuff. But I'm not a drawing person. I don't do drawings of women, that I can tell you. They say there's a drawing of a woman, and I don't do drawings of women.
You did not write a letter for Jeffrey Epstein's birthday?
I don't even know what they're talking about. Now, somebody could have written a letter and used my name, but that's happened a lot.
When this story was first published, the vice president said that the Wall Street Journal's initial reporting that the letter even existed was, quote, complete and utter bullshit. The president himself sued the Journal for billions, and his attorneys insisted in court filings that this letter was, quote, non-existent and that no authentic letter or drawing exists.
As you've probably heard by now, another bombshell piece of information just dropped as House Oversight Committee Democrats released the infamous birthday card Trump allegedly wrote Jeffrey Epstein. And CNN reporter Kaitlin Collins has the receipts to debunk the Trump administration's claims.
Like this 1996 letter to then New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani, or this 1995 letter to a member of a local Palm Beach commission. There's also that 1999 letter to the legendary CNN host Larry King that you see here, and a 1984 letter to the executive editor of the New York Times. There's even an inscription in a Trump book that Epstein owned from 1997 that the New York Times recently published. Those are the signatures there, and of course, this is the one the White House is denying is the president's tonight.
For legal reasons, we can't definitively declare that Trump absolutely drew and signed that disturbing and frankly chilling birthday card. But the evidence presented speaks for itself, as do the reactions pouring in from Republican officials and Trump's own son, Eric.
Clearly, the birthday note from President Trump is a fallacy. It's just not true. And that's a leftist talking point. It's horrible.
The Democrats, they find one thing in there and they promote it and try to get a narrative. This investigation's about providing justice and accountability for the victims.
What the Democrats are trying to do is highlight what they think is a wedge between the president and the American people, and it's not. People do want to hear all the files, see all the files. 32,000 have been released.
It's been there for 4 years, and now it's just come out. I just don't buy it.
So you think really someone might have just forged this somehow and sent this to the Epstein?
Somehow. It's so easy to do. I just don't buy any of it right now.
The president said that's not him. I believe the president. From what I see, it's not his signature. I've seen Donald Trump sign a million things.
I think it's a distraction.
What do you mean?
I mean, it doesn't prove anything. Having a birthday card from Trump doesn't help the survivors and the victims. It doesn't name an additional new person who could be indicted.
This is the most absurd stuff in the world. But Mike Johnson is like walking back. Last week he said, he was an FBI asset in the whole prosecution of this. Then he tried to walk it back. So this is like the dumbest thing in the world.
I can tell you my father does not sketch out cartoon drawings. I mean, it's insane. Not to mention Epstein's lawyer said he asked specifically about Donald Trump, and Donald Trump never once came up, and there was no correlation. And it's ironic, given that my father was the very guy that threw him out of the club because he thought he was a scumbag. My father's intuition was actually incredibly right.
The responses that you saw there from all of those Republicans, it shows you that the victims in getting the justice they deserve are clearly being pushed to the back burner so that the Republicans can defend Trump and their own political careers. They don't care about these women. They don't care about all the abuse and trauma that they've gone through and the trauma that still lives inside of them. They have no care whatsoever, no regard for their mental health. It's all about making sure Trump knows he's got an army of supporters and Republicans and that they're going to do whatever necessary to protect him and their own careers.
It connects Trump to Epstein again, even as the president and the White House are trying to extinguish this fire. This inflames the fire. It also runs counter to the claims made in July by the vice president that such a letter, such a message does not exist.
The Epstein documents are a hoax that Democrats are perpetrating against the president. You've said he didn't sign that check, that he didn't sign the birthday card that he allegedly signed. So what is the theory, since these documents came from the Epstein estate? Who is I guess in your view, faking these documents?
I did not say the documents are a hoax. I said the entire narrative surrounding Jeffrey Epstein right now that is absorbing many of the liberal cable channels on television is a hoax that is being perpetuated by opportunistic Democrats like Ro Khanna and the others whom you saw on that press conference outside of Capitol Hill, who are trying to push this hoax against the President of the United States.
What exactly is the hoax? I'm just trying to understand what's fake. What's fake is not the documents.
The hoax is the Democrats pretending to care about victims of crime when they do not care about victims of crime, when they have done nothing to solve crimes, when they have done nothing to lock up child pedophiles and child rapists across the country, and when they are now using victims as political props to try and, again, smear the President of the United States and drag on this bad story about him. It is a distraction. The Democrats view this story as nothing more than an attempt to distract from the accomplishments and the achievements of this administration. And that is what we mean when we call it a hoax.
Levitt's response here shows not only her unyielding loyalty to Trump, but also the lengths MAGA is willing to go to launder Trump's reputation and to keep the party in power.
So when we start to talk about things such as it's about following the money. Mm-hmm. This is a big money situation. So, how are you going to refute this, right?
Transactions are transactions.
Exactly.
They're recorded, yeah.
Exactly. And so, to make it to where this is not political, to make it to where it's literally just getting down to the nitty gritty, for me, it starts with the documents.
Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein were incredibly close. There's numerous accounts, photos, videos of them together. They have exchanged, of course, their time when they were in Florida and in New York, they've exchanged numerous support of each other. And we also know that during the campaign, Donald Trump made it clear that he would release the Epstein files. Then he gets into office, and now he's refusing to do so. What's happening right now is a White House cover-up.
I really like how Crockett and Garcia approached the release of the letter, talking about, follow the money. Follow the money and the documents so that you can't even make an argument that this is political. It's just about, okay, here's the money trail and here are the documents. Pretty clear what's going on. And then for Garcia to talk about how, I thought what was really convincing from him is saying Trump, before he got into office, he was like, I'm going to release the Epstein files. And then when he gets into office, now it's a different situation. And it's clear it is a White House cover-up.
The 22nd Amendment says you can only run for office for 2 terms.
True.
You think that that's cut and dry?
Well, that's what the amendment says, right? After FDR had 4 terms, that's what that amendment says.
Everything we've seen from the Trump administration so far, from the Epstein cover-up to immigration crackdowns, to militarizing cities, to extrajudicial military strikes and killings of civilians, these are all clear hallmarks of Trump's authoritarian ambitions. It is so obvious to people who have their heads on straight that he is desperate to be a dictator. He is desperate to lead an authoritarian regime. And the sooner people open their eyes to that, the better, because then more people can combat it and strike it down in a variety of measures and strategies. Our lives are at stake. That's not hyperbole. That's not something that, I'm saying just to say that. We know what his mission is, and we know what the administration's mission is. And it's not to see people like me succeed and prosper and so many other marginalized communities. For Rebel HQ, I'm Chris Williamson. We'll see you next time.